Christina from City Right Knits. Thank you so much for popping into my channel today. Today I'm going to show you how I am holding sequin yarn together with a wool yarn to make a ridiculously cute granny square. So please join me. Starting off, I'm just going to be taking two strands and holding them together. One is the Hobbii wool yarn and one is the Sequin Party Deluxe. I'm just going to be creating a slip knot to put onto my hook here. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook today, and I'm just going to be making the square. It looks like this. It's made over 3 rounds, and the whole thing is made with holding the sequin yarn together with the Hobbii wool. As I'm holding two strands together, I'm going to be creating a circle by chaining 3. You can opt to use a magic circle here, but I like to chain 3 and connect it with a slip stitch before I begin working. I'm going to make a petal by chaining 8 into that hole that I just made. Simply chaining 8 here. I'm going to work into the hole that I just made, and I'm going to insert the hook for a slip stitch. I'm pulling that closed, and what this does is creates a little petal or loop. I'll show you here. My goal is to create 8 of these loops. I do this by simply chaining 8 stitches. And after I chain the 8 stitches, I join it to the center hole with a slip stitch, closing the petal. Here's the second petal you can see. I'm going to continue doing this until I have 8 petals created. After you have your 8 petals created, you're going to want to move on to the next round. In order to do this, you're going to get to the top of one of the petals. To do this, you're going to be working into the chain spaces of the petal. Because we had 8 chains originally, you're going to want to slip stitch up 4 of those chains so that you're at the very top of the petal. Working into the stitches along the first chained petal, you're going to insert your hook, and when you insert your hook, you're going to want to start in the very first chain. You're going to go under both loops of yarn, the glitter yarn and the wool, and you're just going to complete a slip stitch. You don't need to add extra stitch height here. We're just working up the chain space to get to the top of the petal. If your chains are a little tight here, or if they're hidden from your work, you might just work up 3 of the chains, or whatever you determine is the top of your petal. Join me there. Work round 2, we're going to be working into the tops of each of the petal spaces. So there's 8 petals, and we're going to be working a cluster of 3 double crochet into each of those. To begin, you're going to chain 3. Into the first petal opening, you're going to double crochet 1 double crochet. So yarn over and into the opening, pull up the loop, and complete a double crochet. You now have 2 stitches, the chain 3 and a double crochet. We're going to double crochet once more into this same loop. This gives us 3 double crochet into the top of this petal. Let me lay it down so I can show you. These are the unworked loops, and this is one we've just began, and there's 3 double crochet. We're going to move on into the next loop. Beginning into the next loop, we're going to work another 3 double crochet. Insert your hook into the loop and complete 3 double crochet here. After you have those, we're going to do something slightly different from the first loop. I'm going to lay it down so you can see we have now 2 cluster of double crochet. We're going to create a corner here to work around the circle, so chain 2. And into that same loop you were just working, complete another 3 double crochet. Inserting your hook into the same petal space, you should have room to evenly space 6 double crochet, separated by a chain 2. You can see we now have our 3 clusters of double crochet. The chain 2 here acts as what will become a corner. I'm going to show you on this finished square, we've just completed these clusters of double crochet into the first and second loops. We're going to work around the square, completing a series of 3 double crochet followed by a corner of 6 double crochet separated by a chain 2. Let me show you how that looks. Into the third loop, we're going to work 3 double crochet, just as we did into the first loop. I'll show you I have 3 double crochet completed into this third loop. Laying it down, you can see that I have the corner separated by a double crochet cluster of 3. Into the next loop, I'm going to create another corner. To do that, I'm going to work into the loop 3 double crochet. Because I need to create another corner, I'm going to chain 2, just as I did for the first corner. Into that same loop, I'm going to work another 3 double crochet for 6 double crochets total. It's just repeating a repeat of 3 double crochet into 1 loop, followed by a corner sequence of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the next loop. If I lay it down here, you can see what I mean. Continuing this pattern around, I'm going to work 3 more double crochet into the next loop. Into the loop after that, I'm going to work another corner sequence. So 3 double crochet to begin into the next loop space. Then I'm going to chain 2 before adding another 3 double crochet into that same loop. That means I'm going to have 6 double crochet into this next loop. If I lay it out, you can see that we have now completed 3 of the corners. I'm just going to continue in this pattern until I am able to join where we started. So into the next loop, I'm going to work 3 double crochet, like so. And you can see it's just a pattern repeating around for the corners to have a chain 2 between them. Into this next space, I'm going to work my final corner, so 3 double crochet separated by a chain 2 and 3 more double crochet all into this last loop. Once I have that, you can see that I've worked all the way around into the 8 loops. To join the round, I'm just going to find my initial chain 3 and I'm going to go under that to close the round with a slip stitch. This has completed round 2. We're now going to move on to round 3 of the square. For the final round of the square, we are going to be working into the layer that we just built. We're going to be working double crochet into each of the stitches around with 3 double crochet into the corners. To do this, you're going to want to find your stitch heads to easily identify where to put your double crochet stitches. Let's get started. To begin, chain 3. This counts as a double crochet stitch here. Into the next stitch head, you're going to want to identify the little V's that create the stitch head. Next to this stitch, we're going to begin working a double crochet. We're going to be working 9 double crochet across each side, but because we're starting in the middle here, we're going to be working 6. We're going to finish the round with the 3. Into the first stitch, go ahead and identify it, insert your hook, and work 1 double crochet. Make sure that you're under both loops of the stitch head here. Pull through and complete a double crochet. You now have 2 stitches because the chain stitch counts as a stitch. Work into the next stitch head another double crochet. Insert your hook and pull up a loop. for a double crochet. You now have 3 stitches. Continue down along each stitch head until you have 6 double crochet stitches. If I lay it down, you can see that we have started kind of in the center. I have 6 double crochet and I need to work the corner. To begin the corner, chain 1, and into this space from the previous round where we had the 2 chain spaces, we're going to be working. Yarn over for a double crochet. Yarn over again and complete 2 more double crochet. So 3 double crochet total into this corner space. You can see we've chained 1 and now we have 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 1 again before working 9 double crochet along the next side. Remember to identify your stitch heads here and it'll easily guide you how many stitches you should have. Yarn over and work into all of those stitches. Be sure to find your very first stitch head here. If you miss it, you might just get to 8 double crochet at the end of the row and you'll need to start your work again. Make sure you do have 9. Once you get to the end of the row, you can see here's where we've started. We completed 1 corner and we've just completed 9 double crochet along the second side. We're going to need to work another corner space. So remember, we work in between the space from the chain 2 of the previous round. We begin the corner by chaining 1 and then working 3 double crochet into that corner space. So I'm now doing 3 double crochet and then I'm going to chain 1 again. The chains give the corner a little room to be rounded and not pull too tight. Remember to identify that first stitch before working the next 9 double crochet along this third side. You're going to work this side the same as you did the previous by working 9 double crochet into each of the stitches along this side before you get to the third corner. Next corners work the same way into the chain 2 space, so you'll want to chain 1 and into that space work 3 double crochet. Finish the corner by chaining 1 again. If you lay it down here, you can see we've just completed 3 of the corners for this square. We're going to continue working this last side in the same way, working 9 double crochet until the final corner. At the point of the final corner, you're going to work it the same way we've worked the previous ones by chaining 1, double crochet 3, chaining 1. Now we need to complete these last stitches to join the round. If you remember, we worked 6 before, and so we'll have 3 left. Here you'll need to work 3 double crochet into the remaining 3 stitches. Into the chain 3 that we started this round with, you're going to want to close your granny square by inserting the hook under the chain 3 and just pulling the yarn through for a slip stitch. If you find your granny square is curled a little bit, feel free to just tug it at the corners to straighten it out, or you can potentially use a blocking board or maybe slightly get it wet and dry it over a towel. Go ahead and cut the yarn, and I think this is a good time to sew in all of the ends. In order to sew in the ends, here's how I like to do it. I flip the granny square over so that the wrong side of the work is showing, and I like to join towards the center. So I use the crochet hook to just manipulate underneath some of the stitches, and this is a good way to just hide your yarn tails on the back side of the work. I'm working towards the top thread here, and I'm just going to grab it with my hook and loosely bring it down the center of the square. You'll just want to do it loosely here so that your whole square doesn't crinkle up. Go ahead and flatten out your granny square before you secure any ends and make sure that you like its shape. And then I like to do a knot here by working a knot 3 times over itself. So I'm just going to secure it one way loosely. The second time I'm going to do it is with the opposite yarn tails going first. Once more, pull it. And then with the other set of yarn tails, I'm going to pull those first, and then this time I'm going to pull really tight. And that's a nice way to secure a little knot for yourself, and you can cut off any loose ends here. Tool that I like to get is this fray check. I've just ordered it on Amazon, but you could also get it at a craft or fabric store. And it's great because I just dab a little bit onto the ends that I have secured, and it just makes sure that they don't fray as they get worn or used. That's it. I hope you enjoy your granny square. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. Happy crocheting!